Sup nibbles, D-Balls here, and today's going to be a different video. I'm going to be talking about my mental health. Specifically, we're going to be talking about what type of medication I take and my experience taking those medications. Because I know a lot of people in the world take medication. Y'all deal with mental illness the same as I do. And maybe y'all want to start medication, or y'all don't know what medication to take, or y'all want to just, I want to know someone's experience taking medication. Now, of course, let me start this off by saying you do not need medication. Well, in some cases, you don't need medication. Medication is a tool to allow you to better apply the things you learn in therapy or group therapy, or just, the skills you learn generally so to better navigate through the world with your situation. It's not the be all end all, but in cases like mine with bipolar, medication definitely helps, because without it, I am a mess. Like, no joke, it's no other way to say it. I'm a mess. I'm already a mess now, but I'm more of a mess without medication. And it's just because of the fact that my consistency with doing things falls off it's not consistent enough for me to grow anywhere. I will start something, go head first into it, full devotion, I'm committed, and then it would be a snap. And now all that motivation, all that drive, all that ambition is gone. And I just feel this hollowness, this emptiness. It's like it's a hole in my chest, like I'm a Espada or something, or like I'm a hollow, bro, from Bleach. And it's just not a great feeling. My depression was so bad that, let alone dealing with things like suicidal thoughts, I also experienced I didn't feel great about myself, and to such an extent that looking in the mirror would do negative things to me. And it was worse because before getting on medication, I dealt with acne real bad. Shout out Accutane. And that also put a hamper on it. And it even ruined fitness for me. But I think fitness was already dying down for me because of my depressive episodes causing so many issues within itself that it just made working out not fun anymore for me. So I didn't really experience hard symptoms, or at least I didn't experience symptoms that were super noticeable yet until about my 20s. Once I hit like 21, 22, that's when I started noticing things are a bit off. Like, I would have periods of time where I feel amazing, so good, where I was giving money to people, and not just like $1, like $20, $10, $5 to just homeless people. I'm just giving them money, or I'm just buying things sporadically. Like, I'm buying things without much thought, and things I don't even use right now. Like, the act of buying something online would be like this rush for me. I start getting a bunch of tattoos back to back to back to back. I think I got like 4 tattoos in the span of like 2 weeks or something. It was crazy. Like, probably not the worst of mania that people probably experience, but it's definitely just my experience with my mania. And my mania has caused me to do dumb things. Of course, this is me taking away accountability for myself, but it does cause me to do impulsive things that have definitely been a detriment to my relationship with people. And yeah, especially romantically. It wasn't a great time not being on medication. It was really tough. I also was dealing with a breakup too in that time, so that probably made it worse, the depression and the media. But my depression was getting so bad that I was contemplating ending my life. I was gonna go and put a bailout bridge, jump off, end it like that. And lucky for me, my friends saved me. Like, seriously, they really did. And it made me want to start getting on medication. Now, my first medication I got onto was Zoloft. Zoloft was not a great time for me. I had this point where it felt amazing, but it just caused me to become manic. And then it would cause severe depression. Like, the depression was worse than my normal depression, if that makes sense. Like, the normal depression I would feel on my episodes went beyond 9,000. And I eventually had to stop taking Zoloft because I just wasn't feeling good. I didn't want to eat. Food didn't taste good. It was not working well. So then he put me, I took a pause of medication, and then I went into group therapy, which is amazing. If anyone's never been in group therapy, I recommend you do it. It's a nice environment, and you can learn a lot from it. I definitely have. But in that period of time, I started Wellbutrin, and that worked fantastically. I haven't had any negative adverse effects at all with Wellbutrin. It did everything. It's doing everything it's supposed to do. I started, waking up wasn't a chore anymore. I wanted to work out again. I had ambition. I had drive. I wanted to do things for myself. socialize with friends, it definitely it brings out the best of me. Now I still experience mania on Wellbutrin. It's just very like, it's not as severe. You know what I mean? Like it's more manageable now, and I don't experience any depression. They basically said my depression, what's the word? What they say when your cancer goes away, or it's like gone. Basically my depression was gone, right? I was cured of my depression, quote unquote, or I am cured of my depression at this point in time while being on Wellbutrin. And Wellbutrin was basically the only medication I was on, but I also experienced ADHD. Well, I have ADHD, and I know, right? I have 2 illnesses or disorders that cause emotional dysregulation. Y'all can only imagine how fun that is. But I was on Wellbutrin for basically the majority of the time, and then eventually I got on Vyvanse to help with my ADHD symptoms. And Vyvanse is, cool. I don't have to take it every day. It's a stimulant. It's basically like Adderall, but I think it lasts longer. Like, it's not an instant. It's an extended release. So it takes a while to hit, and then it goes on throughout the day. But yeah, I was only rocking with those 2, but then I got into a rough time in my life. I was, dealing with homelessness. I guess I'm still kind of dealing with homelessness, but my friends let me crash with them, so I'm not really dealing with homelessness. But I was dealing with a lot at the time, and it was becoming really stressful, and my mood wasn't the best. So I asked for something to help with that, and they put me on Abilify. And Abilify definitely is something that helps me better with my emotions. If my emotions were at 100, Abilify brings it down to like a 50 or something in that range. It just makes the emotions more manageable and less explosive, less crazy. Now, this doesn't say I don't still have my moments, but it's just better while on this medication. And that's why I can never say to myself, medication is not helping me. And I definitely don't want to stop the medication, because I'm not really the type of individual where it would benefit me. You know what I mean? I'm with an illness that is permanent. And if you look up fixes for bipolar, there's no cure. There's only medication. So it's like, that's just what it is. But yeah, and getting my diagnosis wasn't hard either. I'm officially diagnosed too. I'm not just saying this, like, I ain't just talking ish. I'm officially diagnosed. Like, if you was to go to my hospital records and look it up, or if I was to show you guys, I think I can show you guys, like right here. I'm officially diagnosed. I went to a official guy, diagnosed me. I got diagnosed for both ADHD and bipolar. I have bipolar 1. Or no, is it bipolar 1 or is it bipolar 2? I think it's bipolar 2. I forget. I'm sorry. I have bipolar, but the exact one I'm gonna put up here too. And yeah, medication definitely just been beneficial for me. And I think for anyone, it can be beneficial. But obviously, people have their own journeys and their own means of overcoming, their situation. So I'm not saying it's a need, but for me, it's definitely something that has helped me, and I will say it's definitely something that without I would be less, sadly. But yeah, that's my experience with medication and my journey with it. And getting the diagnosis wasn't too hard. They do be a little bit harder with diagnosing people with bipolar, because we have ADHD. Some of the symptoms of ADHD can be similar to bipolar. You know what I mean? So some people get misdiagnosed with bipolar when they have ADHD, or they can get, misdiagnosed, vice versa. But yeah, overall, I'm happy that I'm on medication. It's done beneficial things for me. It's got me back into fitness. This is what I look like before I take my medication. This is what I look like after taking my medication. As you can see, it definitely done positive things. Even the way how I look changed. You know what I mean? And the first couple of months or weeks of Wellbutrin was amazing. It's still amazing now. Like, I still know there's a difference between how I am now with the medication and without. But those beginning weeks and months, I felt above the world. Like, it was amazing. Like, it's definitely a very getting acclimated to it it's not a bad experience, at least from my book. I know there's people that deal with negative side effects with these medications. I'm happy that I'm not one of those people that do, but this is obviously things you should talk about your doctor with. You should talk to your doctor about these things and make sure it's something you want to do or not do, because some of these medications can have permanent effects. So it's like, it's things to think about, and it means to look at all your options for coming to medication. That's what I would tell you guys from my experience, my personal of different options before I came to the idea of I want to take medication. It wasn't just take medication. And people have this notion that you're weak if you take medication. That's crazy. These meds can wreck you. You're not weak. You're strong for going through medication. A lot of people couldn't even do the medication for a week or two without crumbling, bro. Like, taking medication is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. Being vulnerable, being open and saying, I need help is a sign of strength. It takes a lot of courage and bravery to do that, because it's so hard to be vulnerable in today's society or in the world in general, especially as a male. It's hard to be open to that extent. So don't let society hold you back from bettering yourself. Forget what people say. Focus on you. Focus on what's going to make you better. What worked for Sasha, Jay, Bob, Billy is not going to work for you, or it may not work for you. Maybe it does, but it's not. You're not going to inherently have a similar experience and end result. And I think that's really everything I have to say in terms of my experience with medication. Yeah, I don't think I have more to say on that. Hope you guys have an amazing day. Drink water. Breathe air. Go, smell some flowers or something. Case in point, have an amazing day.